Hello, welcome to Hit the Bricks. Today we're doing City Update number 2. If you watched City Update number 1, thank you. And now you can erase that from your memory. So I said in that video that I was going to start cutting some stuff and getting a visualization of how it's going to be. This is what I ended up with. I really like it. I think it's good. I think it can be better. So by better, I mean that when you walk into the door here, I feel this is somewhat intrusive. It's just a little too much bulk right here. I also not thrilled about the docks and the rail line being so high. For some reason in my mind, I'm thinking rail yards are kind of down low. You're looking down at them. So I want to visualize that a little bit more in the city. That's the feel I want. So I'm still going to do 3 levels, but I'm going to do it on the other side. So the city is higher up, the train yards will be a little bit lower, and we still have this depth here for the ocean. So we're not going to lose anything, we're actually just going to enhance it. So to be honest with you, I'm actually going to go back to my original plan. This is what I had sketched out. This was what was in my head, and I really wanted to do it. I shied away from it because there's some curves to it, there's some different angles that are going to make it more difficult when I actually put on the brick. But you know what? You only live once, so I'm going to give it a try. With that being said, I think it's time to take this down. Again, it wasn't permanently fixed anyways. I'm going to take this down and then I'm going to start sawing the wood and getting the positions where I really want it to be, and then we'll take a look at that. Okay, so this is the direction they're going. This is what will be the western shipyard and rail yard. Cutting this in kind of a curvy type pattern, somewhat haphazard, because this is going to be the bottom layer. So this will be the bottom of the water, and then this will be one layer up. Still going to cut this in a little bit here, but we'll have a nice area for the trains to be staged and have some industry and such going on. Okay, so hopefully this is all starting to make sense now. So this coming in here, cutting back there, I'm thinking about doing maybe a backdrop and some facade type buildings, and then be able to access just the back there. Even though this isn't very wide, just is the angle that I wanted, so I end up with a little space back there. I think it's something creative to do. But I do like how this is looking better than the other one as far as the feel of being angled. This is going to cut in, and then this is actually going to do an angle right here. And then we go on the other side, that's where the city's actually going to be. Remember, this is just the bottom layer, so this is like the bottom of the water, and we're still going to build the layer on top of this for the actual train yard. Okay, so we've made it this far. I find myself being a little uncertain what I want to do right here. I know that these 2 tracks, the lower level track, the subway, and then the main level track that is 1 level up, are going to come over here and go underneath the main city via a tunnel of some sort. However, I also know I'm going to cut this back, but I'm not too sure how far I want to cut it back. I did draw this line right here. This is where I thought I was going to. But without seeing the main part of the table, which is gonna have a curve, it's gonna come along like this, which is gonna be another harbor water type scene, just like over here, with another freight yard. Without seeing that, I'm not sure how far I wanna cut this back. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the main part of the table, cut the base level, the ground level first, and then come back over here. Okay, so here we are. I got the whole first layer done. So this is the bottom of the ocean, as it were. Pretty excited to have it all done. This is more in line of what I was originally thinking about doing with the curves and the cutouts and the different angles. I much prefer this over the last one. So let's take a look at exactly what this means as far as this kind of configuration and what we're going to be doing. So we have a couple of different main areas. So this side is the Western Railroad Yard. It's also going to have the dock for the ships to come in. We're going to move the goods from that side all the way along here to the Eastern Railroad docks. So the docks are going to be built up, and this is where the railroad tracks are going to be too. So this is going to be built up onto the second layer. So they're going to be this high, which will give us a nice perspective of the water dropping off so we can still have some underwater activity. So the water is going to be all the way along here and all the way around that other area that is curved. I'm going to paint the edges and get the brick as close as I can to the sides here. I think it's going to give it a kind of a cool look. I have some what I think are pretty interesting ideas for the water scenes. So bottom of the ocean, also from the dock to the dock over here, and actually to the city, is also going to be the subway line. So the subway line is going to run all the way along here as well. And we'll be able to see that from time to time with little openings. That's going to be on this level. So then we go above that, we got the railroad. And above that, on this side, and a little bit back here too, is actually going to be the city. So the city will be one more level up. We'll have access to the subway for the minifigs all the way from the top of the city all the way down. So I think that will give it a good perspective of different heights, and I think it's really going to add some interest to the city. So if that interests you, that's what we're going to be doing. So you can hit the like and subscribe and bell notification and all that good stuff, because this is what we're going to be doing for a little while. Now with that all being said, another reason why, besides just being interesting and different to curve in and cut away, I kind of got this a little bit from when I used to work with model railroads when I was younger. I like that being able to cut in here, of course, for access and such, you know, be able to reach everything. But also in this particular instance, I like it because now I can get behind here and I can walk around and get behind certain areas so I can get that different perspective, kind of like the minifigs perspective from that side of the city or this side of the city, rather than just always looking on straight ahead and this is what we see. Which is fine. I mean, you see some of these big Lego cities out there and a lot of modular buildings and such, and they've got where you kind of pop up and you can get some access, and those look really neat. I like them. But for this size room, which isn't, it's not bad, but it's not a massively huge room, I wanted to have it where it more kind of cuts in and does some different things as far as like the angles, because I wanted to give the kind of the illusion or the feel that we have a longer distance to go, especially with the trains and with the minifigs traveling from one rail yard to the other, kind of going to work and back or what have you. And I needed to have a little bit longer stretch that they go. So if they go from that side all the way around here, at least they're moving some distance, right? Some physical distance. Where if I had this connected and maybe this was open, maybe I had some bridges, which would look really neat, but then why would I go all the way around? Of course, unless I have some industries or something that I want to stop off at, but otherwise you can easily just go from one side to the other. So I wanted to leave this open here. And I'm thinking of this as just being like the ocean that comes in here. So this is all water where I'm standing, and we'll see a little bit of water here, we'll see a little bit of water on the other side. So other than boat, or air, it's somewhat impassable. So you're not gonna drive, you're not gonna have the train over there, you gotta go all the way around. So that was one of my other reasons for kind of doing these cutouts and making it look the way it does. So hopefully this is really interesting. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. It's a lot of work. This was a lot of work to cut this out, but again, happy with it. I appreciate you guys all watching. Hopefully you're stay tuned, because it is gonna be pretty interesting to build the next levels up and kind of see how this all turns out. I have no idea, just going with the flow, as it were. Just, you're gonna kind of see how it develops along with me. So thanks for watching today. I'm gonna leave it right here with this bottom layer being done, and we'll see you next time.